See, if they had that 8 series, I would have rented that, but they didn't.
That would be nice.
Yeah, all right. I think we're back on. We're gonna drive down to Lady Lake, Florida. But right now we're in Tampa, and we're gonna go visit Matt Moreman from Obsessed Garage, who has been a supporter of ours from the very beginning. So it's always kind of cool to go down there. I've been down there once, and yeah, test our new products and have a chat with those guys.
Everyone's really looking forward to see 2.0, man.
I know, it's exciting.
Everyone loves the design.
That's good. That's good. Actually, I was thinking we should have brought James Casey and Jude down here. They're also responsible for this thing, and Ming.
Yeah.
They probably have more to say about the product than I do. Yeah, the performance is a little bit better than I think we anticipated, because the objective of this 2.0, the core objective really wasn't to try to get breakthrough performance. The core objective was to increase longevity in life and reliability. I think the changes we made to the pump and the motor and different things in the pursuit of longevity have improved performance as a byproduct of that. So that's a pleasant surprise for sure. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice. But you know, people are gonna have lots of opinions on it. That's the way it works with product design. So.
And the shotgun. The shotgun is like even a nicer touch to it too.
Yeah, the shotgun. I mean, I think it's a nice combo for people.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the way they're built, they're really nice. The way they're designed, you know, really thoughtfully, and I think people will really enjoy it. I think it's like, yeah, I think it's good. And then get ready for all the copycats to come. No, I think
it's very neutral.
I think it's fair. I think there was a ton of comments around why we didn't go with a wide mouth opening, kind of like the leader, the Griot's garage unit. Why we didn't go with a wide mouth opening on the soap bottle, and that's a great question. And that one is an interesting one. So. Sometimes when you design product, they are clean sheet designs. So you are able to go out and just design exactly what you want, and you know, with very little compromise in terms of the design, because you're doing all new components and it's a completely new thing. So the 2.0 is kind of like that. You know, we were able to do a lot of things that we wanted to do and design in a way that didn't really have any compromises. But sometimes when you're designing a product, you kind of pick up a couple different existing pieces or components that then drive elements of the design. So we had a lot of discussions around the size of the bottle and whatnot. You look at different things like how many do you expect to sell, how complex is it to design, and you know, the size of the bottle was one of those things that just fit into an existing, call it, part that we were going to use, and we didn't have to tool up for. And that was kind of the reason why, in addition to, you know, not having to spend more money on tooling, that was just an easier way to go about it. Again, not the best way all the time, but you know, that's just one of the hundreds of design decisions that go into any one product, and you don't always get them right. And again, we also have to step back and go, for most users of the foam cannon, they're going to be fine with a small opening. You know, I think the people that care enough to comment on these things, they probably have a lot of experience with the unit and a lot of, you know, feedback. So of course they're going to give us great comments. But I think for a lot of users, they're not going to know the difference, or they're not going to think that negatively otherwise.
So So maybe we should do a Kickstarter on like.
Yeah, that Kickstarter is something that I wanted the team to really practice. I think it's an interesting blend of kind of pre-production feedback and comments from the community, and then enabling you to do products that might be a bit more focused and not have you worry about generating enough revenue to cover the cost of development. So for example, one of the things that I'm really wanting, like my team knows, a pet project of mine is I wanted to do a full either die cast or machined aluminum pressure washer gun. And for no other reason than I think it reminds you of those beautiful air guns that you used to see in garages that were all out of fully machined and polished aluminum. And aluminum is a beautiful material. I think it would feel good in your hands. I think it'd be a real statement piece. I think it'd have real weight to it and look amazing, but it really wouldn't have much functional benefit, right? So like, it's not going to be a better gun in the sense of it's not going to last longer. It's actually going to be heavier. It might feel cold if you're using cold water or whatnot, but sometimes that's really not the point. So that's a good example of, if I could find enough people that shared the view and wanted just something really cool and beautiful, and pre-sold enough, then I wouldn't have to worry about the development costs and essentially the tooling cost of the unit, and I could then cover at least a big portion of the tooling development and costs, and then we'd have a product that we could sell. So that's an interesting thing that I think we definitely want to pursue. Okay, if you think about it this way, okay?
Yeah.
So for us, the V52 and before that the VE, I don't know what the wall-mounted one, those two products that we launched on direct-to-consumer were our first two products, and those two products were based on products that we'd been selling to retail, okay? So the 2.0 is actually the first product that we are designing and building specifically for direct-to-consumer and specifically for this new community and targeted, call it audience. So the 2.0 is actually the first product. I would say the short gun is the second product, and the foam cannon is kind of also the third product and more of a throw-in, because we certainly didn't apply the same level of, call it, design thinking and innovation that we did to the 2.0 and the short gun. So I think all the comments really then made me think, well, there is a huge opportunity to see if we can't build a better foam cannon altogether. But that just takes a lot more time. And again, time is one of those things where we wanted to have a full solution out at the same time. So that meant 2.0 gun and foam cannon. And I guess we just didn't spend as much time as we should have on the foam cannon because we wanted to get all three out at the same time. But now that we know that there's so much love for foam cannons, maybe we'll apply the same attention that we do to the other products onto a foam cannon and make a better one. Yeah, I mean, so a little background on the V52. The V52 started out many, many years ago, and it was our first 5-piston pump unit, and the principle behind it was, how do we make a unit that is small and portable but doesn't compromise on performance? Because again, even you see currently most manufacturers, they try to build a bigger pressure washer to convey the feeling that it's more powerful, but in reality the size of the unit has very little to do with the actual power of the unit. So it's a bit of a trick. So that unit started out with that in mind, and the first customer was actually Canadian Tire up in Canada, and it was branded under the Simonized Platinum unit. So that unit itself had some design decisions that were driven by trying to hit a certain retail, matching, let's say, a design language that was, part of somebody else's brand. And so there's a lot of design decisions there that are made because, at the end of the day, you're trying to sell a unit. And so that's how that product started. What we didn't realize was when we started selling it in the States, how many customers modified the unit. And modification meaning adding longer hoses, and that was the biggest thing. And because we never, even selling like 1 million units in Canada, it really, and I guess all under Simonized brand and so forth, they weren't really modifying their pressure washers, so we never really saw these faults of surging and the issues with the auto cutoff and so forth. So we started getting all these issues and returns and feedback on surging units and so forth, and we kind of really didn't understand what the difference was until we kind of dug into the comments and found that most people were experiencing it with the addition of their longer hoses and whatnot. So that was kind of the challenge, and so we continued to test and tweak and modify components within the unit to try to solve the problem, and I think we've done that. So obviously the VE52s that you buy or have been buying for a while now have all had changes and tweaks and modifications to make the unit just that much more reliable and more suited to people using it with a 50-foot hose. Okay, so I think that's a bigger global question. So we have great manufacturing partners. We have our own joint venture in China. So we're very invested in China in the sense that we have offices there. We have great team members there. We've been there for over 12, 15 years. So this is not so much about, we want to move out of China. This is I would say a couple parts. One, there is a global movement to de-risking from China, meaning I think especially after the pandemic, a lot of people felt that they had too much risk tied up in one supply chain, so one part of China. So you're seeing a lot of customers actually ask vendors to say, I know we're buying all of our product from China right now, but what options do you have outside of China in case anything were to happen with China? So that's being driven on the customer side. The second thing, obviously, is the duty. So the 25% tariff on products coming into the US from China also, obviously hurts your competitiveness. So I would say those two are the chief driving factors in building outside of China. Now, it doesn't impact units that we sell to Canada or to Europe and so forth, but those conditions could change. And, these things also aren't binary, right? Like just because you build in Thailand doesn't mean you stop buying from China or China is not relevant. Well, that's not true because most of the components come from China, or a lot of them do anyway. So this is not, again, binary. This is going to happen over time. But you got to start at some point, and that's what we're doing. Well, it's a huge thing these days. I think a lot of companies are definitely looking to move as much as they can outside of China, or at least prepare for that day. It's been very difficult to do so because people haven't traveled in the last 2 years because of the pandemic. But more importantly, it's been impossible to get into China and very difficult for people to get out of China. And why that's important is because if your supply chain is in China right now, that means then all of your tooling, expertise, engineering, vendor base, that's all in China. So it's not that easy to just move all that know-how out to another place. And so COVID has really delayed, I think, the movement of a lot of these supply chains, or made it difficult anyway. Well, I think it'll be kind of the first time somebody outside of our own group has used and seen the product, right? So just getting real world feedback from guys that obviously know and use a lot of pressure washers. That'll be really interesting to see. Be good to get them to test it and see what results they get. We still have the opportunity to tweak a few things technically, so I think it'll be great to try to make the product as good as possible before actual launch.
When are we expecting for this to?
I think they're gonna ship at the middle of June. I think in a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, 3 weeks, and so they should be here by the end of July. But there's a lot of stuff going down around the world as it relates to supply chains and shipping delays and shutdowns. So that's what we hope, that's what we expect, but you never know.
It can change.
I think the Active V52, the 5-piston pump, the whole philosophy around higher GPM and flow versus pressure, I think that caught on the quickest with the auto detailing community because of people like Obsessed Garage and some other testers that recognized that that was the way for more effective cleaning and rinsing. And Active has also leaned into that community by providing things like the foam cannon and the short gun and so forth. But the unfortunate byproduct of that approach is that then people tend to think that this product is optimized just for auto detailing. But that's actually not true. It's actually optimized for all types of cleaning. It just happens to be the marketing message in the beginning, and the people most passionate about pressure washers have been the auto detailing community, and so that's why it's become a bit labeled with this is ideal for detailing and nothing else, which is not true. It's actually the ideal combination of pressure and flow for, I would say, most applications, considering the limitations of the North American household circuit. So, as I've said in the content before, if you really want to do really effective cleaning around the house, you should absolutely be buying a gas pressure washer. It's the only thing that's going to have enough power and flow to make real stripping of the deck, cleaning of second, third story windows. It's all going to be way, way better than an electric pressure washer, and that's a fact. So given the constraints of the voltage system in North America, the balance of pressure and flow that we have with the 5-piston pump is going to be ideal for every cleaning application that you have at home, given the constraints of the power system. You can see there's a review on Project Farm where he compares the Cat 1800, which has our 5-piston pump, to like another 5 or 6 pressure washers, and he has to clean the board. So the Cat is the only one that's able to clean that kind of board free from junk and debris. He has to do the test twice because he doesn't believe how much better the Cat does than everybody else, which goes to show you that, again, it's the combination of flow and pressure that leads to effective cleaning, not just pressure and coming out of like a laser thin stream of water, which actually does nothing for cleaning. So that is kind of something that we need to do a better job of educating people around, to say, yes, it's ideal for auto detailing because people have made the most noise around it, but actually it's the best for all cleaning around the house because that combination of flow and pressure is going to work best for you no matter the application. So that's my 2 cents.